All right, my friends, my name is Alfred Montaner, and we have a special video for you guys. You guys have been asking me for a video similar to this for a while, and right now we are at the shop at K&J, and guess, well, we're gonna show you guys. Oh, look at this. That's funny. He's got his own little toe thing. All right, guys, let's go ahead and walk and talk to Danny. Danny! Bro, first of all, thank you for what you did last minute on the sunk Verado. And if you guys haven't seen that series, at the very end, Danny came through and we had some issues, but you came on board and you helped us out with that. So congratulations on the new shop. I like this, much bigger. What? How long you been here?
Been here about almost 6 months now. About
6 months? Dude, what is that? What boat is that? That red boat, what is that?
Red boat, that's mine. That's a 21 Italian, 1986.
Okay.
It has a Mercury 200 with very light work done to it, and I'm just trying to finish all the upholstery and all the interior stuff.
So that's like a little project that you're doing for you?
That's for me.
Have you ridden it yet or no?
Not yet. I want to.
Dude, hold on. Before we get this video started, I want to see this. Damn. Holy smack, dude. How fast do you think this sucker goes?
I haven't tested it. I'm hoping it should do somewhere in the mid to high 70s, maybe even low 80s.
And what's powering it?
It's a Mercury 200 2.5. It has some work already done to it. Mm-hmm. And if I like the way that motor runs with it, I may go with a 300, either a Pro Max or an SX.
If you need to borrow a Verado, a Verado 300, I got one on a Carrera right now that I'm sure those guys are like, hey, put it on here.
I'll be happy if it does somewhere in the high 70s, 80s. If not, we'll try to make somewhere something faster.
So here's the thing.
In the 90s, I'm hoping.
I reached out to you and I told you, hey, listen, when you ever have a cool project that you think my viewers will like, because they've been asking me, hey, why don't you do some DIY stuff with Danny, showing how certain thing is, and you just called me today and you're like, hey, Alfred, you got some time? Can you come by? Because I got this project. And this is
2006 DF250 Suzuki.
So Suzuki, what year?
2006.
2006.
DF250.
Okay. Are you familiar with this particular motor or no?
Very familiar with it.
Really? So you've done a couple of them already or no?
Done a bunch of them.
As
a matter of fact, I got another one that I got to do with within the next week or two.
What's the thing known? What are one of the things known about these engines?
These engines, they're pretty good overall. The only thing I dislike about Suzuki is their gauges. Mm-hmm. But overall, they're pretty good. You know, they do have corrosion issues here and there, like most marine engines do. But overall, they're pretty decent motors. Idle air control valve is something that goes out on them quite often. Mm-hmm. But besides that, they're great motors. This one, I think they overheated it. And I think they damaged either cylinder head gasket or it could have a corroded cylinder head, one or the other. So we don't know yet. You have no idea what's wrong with it. I know it has water going in multiple cylinders, mm-hmm. and it has, the contamination of oil. Not real bad, but there's one spark plug I can even remove out because it's set with salt water, but at least the motor's not locked up. Okay, so we're gonna try to get the process. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna pull off what? I'm gonna pull all the side covers. I'm gonna remove the power head and remove the cylinder head to see what's the damage inside and it could be repaired. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know until we open it up. All right, guys. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and see Danny pulling this Suzuki apart. Let's go, bro. All right. Let's do this. First things first. There you go. All right, guys. This is gonna be a nice long video, but stick around because you might learn something. We go first. Let's see what we do. All right. So let's because there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna want to use this video as a reference, maybe to pull the power head. Are we gonna pull the power head? Yeah, right? Yeah, we're gonna pull the power head. Let me take the side covers off first. Should have done that before. And what socket are you using? It's gonna be an 8mm socket. Okay. Let's remove the side cover. Let's kind of like talk about that. Like once we're doing it, like just show, because some people, right? They're gonna be using this video as a reference point, and. Here's an 8mm. Which that happens had no problem. This is something that happens on the Suzukis a lot. People don't grease these bolts how they should, and this is plastic, they just round out. Which, remember, on a marine engine, grease everything you take off. All the bolts, make sure you grease them, because they will break. Like that one there. Grease doesn't cost you a ton of money. Just do it. That one has some grease in it. Missing one here. One.
So how many bolts was that right there, Danny?
There's total about,
like what, 5, 6?
no, it's about 7 to 8 bolts.
7 to 8 bolts. All right, guys.
I'm gonna try to get this one out of here. You see that insert, how it's broken inside? Now I gotta get some pliers, take that insert out. If not, that side cover won't come out. You see how this one's busted in there? Another one too. That's from not people greasing the bolts. And that's why we run into.
So these are obviously those little things that you end up seeing as you're working that slow you down a little bit, right?
One thing that I wish Suzuki would do is improve that, because that's something that you know, on all these older engines, you always have that issue, even on the newer ones.
Really? Even new ones?
Even the new ones. That's why the one thing I wish Suzuki would improve, because their motor overall is a good motor. Some people dislike it, some people don't, you know, do like it. It's the way it is with engines. What about right now? There's people saying, because you know the comment section, oh, but he broke it with the power tool. Why didn't he just use a regular wrench? Yada yada. Break it with a regular wrench, and a lot of times creates more problems. At least the power tool, since it has the harmonics of the impact, most of the times we try to break it free instead of just twisting. When you twist it, all you're doing is just twisting the plastic even easier.
I'm just trolling the haters, bro. Don't get mad at me, Danny.
No, I'm not getting mad. But you know, that's something that it happens on these engines, and I always tell the customers going into it from the very beginning that it will happen, or if they haven't been greased. You see the piece of insert? Plastic is very thin and brittle. That's just an insert that they bond into the plastic, and it's made out of brass. Which, you know, if they would have done something better with the plastics around it, I think it'll be a much better design. Put this one. Which a lot of times I'll try to, you know, move back again to the customer, because if they have to replace it, they're very expensive to replace.
Yeah. So, say somebody is going to do an inspection on one of these, right? What's the first thing that you see and they say, oh, I'm already seeing problems?
Normally, I look at the overall, the electrical part of it, the power head, how it's been taken care of.
Okay.
Also check the oil, the fill, inside the fill where you fill the oil. I always look in there, because if you have a lot of, you know, buildup in there, like a varnish sludge buildup, that means that they haven't been changing oil regularly. Okay. And overall condition, if you look at all these hardware, you know, bolts, because if you see a lot of rust on a lot of bolts, that means motor hasn't been well taken care of. You see everything is very clean on that motor. It's just something happened into it. It could be a defect, could be an overheat.
Yeah, this motor looks really clean.
So it doesn't look horrible, but something happened to it. We have to see. A lot of times around these saws, they also get warped around on the cylinder head or even on the blockers. So that's another thing we have to look at once we get it opened up.
So it's going to be pretty obvious what's going on.
Some of it you'll be able to see, some of it you will not be able to see. You know, but when a lot of times you got to run a straight edge to see what's the condition of the cylinder head, if it's nice and straight or not. I'll be able to somewhat tell on it, but not as good as I'm going to shoot something. So now we're going to drain the engine oil, be able to see it how bad it's going to come out.
Now, for somebody to go ahead and maybe that's watching that just wants to drain their oil, do they have to take the side panels off to drain the oil on these engines?
I normally what I get is a small piece of a cardboard here, and then it'll funnel out, because if not, it drains somewhat on the back side of the side covers. This way, you can put the bucket underneath. And
so the plug is port side.
It's on the port side of the engine.
All right, guys, port side of the engine.
Now we're going to see the oil how it's going to come out. Let's see if it comes out like milkshake or if it comes out somewhat clean. This just started it not recently, so it may be okay, may not be okay. We'll see now. Oh yeah. So what happens when water starts going in the cylinder, it pushes right through the rings and gets in the oil.
So it looked a little milky white there, a little bit coming out.
Yeah, that's almost like when a motor sinks, familiar, it'll come out like that too.
I got a little history of motors that sink. Just a little, not a lot, but a couple.
A couple of them.
Couple days. It's a long story, guys.
Normally when I remove the power head before I bolt it back on, I clean the sump with brake cleaner, make sure everything is nice and clean before I install them.
All right, so if somebody were to go ahead and do an oil change, just an oil change on something like this, where's the filter at on this?
Filter is on the starboard side of the motor. I'll show you, where it's at.
How many quarts of oil do these Suzuki's?
The 250s take 9 quarts of oil.
9 quarts?
Yeah, they're high capacity engines as far as oil goes.
9 quarts, that's a lot.
That's a lot. Verados take 8.
That's a lot.
The Verado 896s, they take 8 quarts of oil.
All right, so let me go ahead and see if I can see that. Oh, here, yeah, here it is. Here it is. All right, so at what point right now somebody is changing the oil? They just need to change the oil. They drain it completely, and then they do what?
Just let it drain. Make sure you get the as much as you can out of it, and then pull the oil filter. Make sure you grease the O-ring on the oil filter, and don't double gasket an oil filter, because that'll create a massive leak once you start that motor.
Do people do that?
I've seen people do that before.
Yeah. Why do you think they do that?
Sometimes you just not paying attention, try to rush through it, and you can forget it.
So they just leave the other gasket on there, and then...
And then when you spin the new one in, double gasket pushes the gasket out of the way, and 60, 50 psi of oil pressure makes a big mess.
Yeah.
In very little time, seconds. You can see this is a 5-gallon bucket. Look where the oil is at. Even though since it has contamination, the oil level is going to be a little bit higher. But it's a 5-gallon bucket, and it's about to here right now. I'm not going to go too crazy draining this one right now, because I got to clean it all up, get all the contamination in the oil. So I'm just going to stop it just almost about now, like that. Make this video a little bit shorter.
Let me tell you, some people, when we did the sunk Verados over there at Black Point, guys, and that's a great video to watch. Danny and I did a restoration on 2 sunk Verados, 300s, coincidentally, like the major story of my sunk Verado, which was a whole different thing. That one was down like maybe 7 to 8 hours. The one that we just recently fixed was down 11 days. So it's a whole difference, but that was a cool story, and I think they got to see that video too.
Even the small Yamaha, the 50, that one was
the sunk dinghy.
For quite a while, longer than the
Verados. That one was like at least overnight, and that one was floating upside down. It was a little dinghy that I gave away actually to one of the subscribers from Andy Jones in the Menorcan Mullet. I went and did a video, and I said, hey, whoever buys this houseboat, you get a free dinghy. He sold it like less than a month later, and he picked it up at Black Point. Cool story. It's on the channel as well, guys. All right, so oil is drained, and we're gonna get into this motor. And my goal, guys, is for you guys to see this video, and those of you guys that want to learn something about these Suzukis, maybe you can learn something. And if you got some advice, you can always put it below. How often do they pick up your oil?
Depends how many, how fast I fill it up. It's almost due. I got the one drum already filled. And this one is about 3/4 full, what you see. This one's already full. Those are my oil filters over there. So sometimes during the summertime, the busy time of the year, they pick up the oil about every month and a half, depending on how much.
Is that a service that you have?
Yeah, well, the oil that they you know, it's World Petroleum, the one I use, and they come get it over here and they pick up my oil filters. And also the rags.
Is there a cost for you for that or no?
Yes.
There is.
It costs me more to get rid of the rags than it costs the oil. Because the oil, they reuse it, recycle it, and stuff like that. Now, the rags, it costs more money to get rid of the rags. Even the oil filter's not as expensive as your rags.
What's going on with this guy on the floor?
Motor, I pulled it off a boat yesterday, and that's a 250 HPDI 2004. And it's been sitting for several years. So I gotta put it on the stand and get it up and running, and the gentleman's gonna put it on another boat.
Cool. All right, guys, let's continue with the Suzuki and see what's going on.
Let's take these side covers.
Side covers now. So we got two there, 2 bolts there. We got one back here.
You got two over here.
One up here, one up here. There's a plug there. What's that plug up to?
That's for your trim switch on the side of the cover.
Okay, so basically those 4 and then the trim switch plug. You're gonna get this port side cover off. Wow, she's naked for real now.
Get in there. We got some more to go. So,
comparing some of these Suzukis to some of the older Yamahas or Mercurys, you know, same year, what do you think are some of the challenges or differences of each?
For me, removing a cylinder head on a Suzuki, it takes the longest out of all the outboards for me. Because there's some cylinder head bolts that you have to remove the power head in order to take them off. On a Yamaha, you could take it off without having to remove the power head. On a Suzuki, you're pretty much screwed on that one. You got to remove the power head to get to the cylinder.
So the labor cost is going to be more for a Suzuki, an older Suzuki. How about the newer ones?
They're all the same. It's still, because there's bolts behind the intake manifold, and you even got to remove this whole intake manifold to pull that power head off.
Okay.
There's a lot of bolts, a ton of bolts. Corollas are easy to pull the power head up and also remove the cylinder head too. Because they go all the way through the block.
Yeah.
Which is a lot easier. Suzuki, for me, is probably the hardest one. You know, it's not hard because I've already done so many of them, but it takes more time than all the others. It's very time consuming.
How many hours do you think, like if you were to put this to you know, like on a program, the program will say, hey, to pull a power head on a Suzuki 250 like this one is how long, more or less?
As far as time, I really haven't timed it out how much it really goes. But I normally, to remove and install it, I charge about 12 hours of labor in total.
Okay.
12 to 15 hours, depends how bad it goes. I had it where the drive shaft or the low unit gets seized up underneath the power head, and then you got to cut it and stuff like that, and then it becomes long.
Here's your oil dipstick here as well.
That's your oil dipstick. That's your shift and throttle cables here, your starter, your power cable. But I have to remove all of this just to get that power head off. It's a lot of bolts too. You have bolts coming through here, you got bolts coming around. Got to remove the intake manifold to get to the other bolts that's behind it. This Suzuki's got a lot of bolts.
All right, well, look, let's let you work. I'm not gonna talk to you as much now, and let's see you do what you do. Pretend I'm not even here.
All right, here we go. Stand. Short people problems. There's 3 bolts I got to remove from up here. I got to remove these hoses. So the crankcase right eventually. This one. Another one this time you got to do same procedure. You got to take the air temp sensor from the bottom, and also the small hose that goes on the bottom of the flywheel cover. Then you can get to remove it. Now I'm going to start removing the intake manifold, which is also the air box. Make sure you keep all your bolts organized. Like that, when it's time to go back, it's going to be a lot easier to put, you know.
So what do you do? What are some of the tricks that you do for organizing your bolts?
Have bins. In those bins, I keep all the stuff. They're really little dog bolts. I keep them for just organize the bolts like that. When it's time to put it back together, it's going to be a lot easier to put it back together when it's time to go together. So I'm just connecting the TPS, the idle air control valve, and the map sensor. Comes out. Go.
Damn, so you gotta disassemble this thing completely.
You got all this gotta come off. And then there's more bolts, long bolts behind it.
So when you ran this motor, what was it doing? Was it running at all or no?
It was running, but it had a real rough misfire because water's going in the cylinder. Water's not combustible.
Yeah.
So the motor shook a lot and it ran real rough. So I told the customer, turn it off. We're not going to continue,
messing
damaging
it up.
more than what it is.
What socket are we using there to pull all those bolts?
12 millimeter socket.
12 millimeters? What happens when you run out of bowls?
When I run out of bowls, she has more laying around. One thing I don't like having on a job is spare parts. You can see. You can see moisture. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. You should be able to see it up there too.
Yeah.
Over here. And I got to remove all this. When I pull the power head, make sure you remove all these brackets. Because when you remove the power head, this got to go with the harness and everything. So you got to make sure you get all these brackets off when you remove it. Those are 10mm bolts.
10 millimeters?
Pretty much all you're going to need is 10, a 12, an 8, and a 14. That's all you really need to remove the power head. Now one thing. You see everything that's on the mounted to the gray part, that's your block. Anything on the black side of the bottom, that's your adapter plate. Which everything that's bolted to the adapter plate got to come off.
Okay.
That's loose already from there. That's where you want to break loose. There's another one over here.
Wow, somebody's gonna really appreciate this video. And then they're still gonna have to call you.
Well, there's a lot in these motors, like I said. These motors got so much stuff on them that it's, for me, it's a little bit more complicated in a way because they added so much stuff to it that it just makes it harder to do. You know, if someone wants to do it themselves.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'm already gasping for air, just hyperventilating, thinking I would have to do this by myself.
By the time I'm done, I'll have the whole area full of bolts and stuff.
I can't remember the movie I watched yesterday. I could only imagine me just wondering, where does this boat go now? Where did this come out of? So you're unplugging what now?
This is just, you know, when you drain the VST, which is the vapor separator, you have the high pressure fuel pump. If you're ever going to drain fuel, or if you get water in the fuel, you drain this and it drains out through that hose. It just goes to the bottom over here, the power of the cradle assembly.
Okay.
Then I have to remove this hose over here, and this one is for your water PSI, which a lot of times they're not even connected because they don't have a speed gauge. But we got to disconnect those two. We're not ready for that one yet. Now I got to remove these keys so I can get, you know, the complete throttle body assembly out of the way. Which has going back to the 12mm bolt again. And there's bolts after bolts. There's more bolts behind that. You see now more moisture here.
See if the camera will pick up a little bit, yeah?
Look at the throttle body. It's trying to get rust on it too.
So that water and those droplets, what would be causing that? That was what we talked about earlier?
That's what we talked about earlier, water going inside the cylinder. You know, a lot of times, you know, when the valve opens, inside the cylinder's not firing, it comes back the other way.
And it's the three lower ones as opposed to the top ones.
And lower ones are always going to have more water because water will always, gravity will always push everything down.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to notice it more in the lowers.
Now, at this point, we don't know, and the customer doesn't know what we're supposed to be expecting.
The customer knows that there's something bad going on in it. He just don't know how bad it is until we open it. He's aware of it.
Yeah. So
how with these, you know, when they get water, they get seized up. You always got to make sure when you do this job, check it and clean them. Because you see this one here, there's a lot of corrosion around it.
Yeah, and that'll make it not perform the way it should, right?
That won't idle properly, and I've seen it where they break pieces of it and ingest it inside the motor. It hurt the motor sometimes. Because the screws, they rust out and they break off. The motor will suck it right.
If somebody had to just swap out the throttle body assembly, is that an easier process? Does that come off?
The process is really not that bad to remove the throttle body assembly and the intake. It's just pricey, pricey.
Yeah.
It's not a cheap But as far as replacing, it's not too big of a deal.
What are we removing now?
These are the injectors, and then we're going to remove the rail out of the way to get to the back, because you still got to move the manifold. These things here are very known to break. You're trying to get them by hand, they just don't open enough. You got to be very careful when you do this way.
So you already know what to use, when to use it.
Yeah.
That's what makes your job pretty fast, right?
Mm-hmm. These are the variable cam timing solenoids. So I'll get them out of the way, like that they're not in my way, and then start removing all the other stuff out of the way.
What is that vacuum line to?
That goes, this is water actually. That goes
water.
down the intake. They run on the back side of the intake manifold.
And they have a little...
They have a little clamp, which these things are known to rust. Normally when they get rusty, I just replace them with tie wraps because there's not a lot of pressure in them. And those kinds really don't hold that tight anyway. So even if you go with a tie wrap, it's not going to be an issue. And a tie wrap don't rot like a regular
clamp
one of
would.
these regular
Yeah.
steel clamps that they use. Then I gotta remove that one. We'll go back to it.
Have you seen anything so far that has made you say, hey, somebody's been on this motor already?
This motor's been opened up before.
Yeah.
I did the same job in this motor back in 2018, and I don't know what it did, but this motor had an issue. He bought it with a light misfire, and he had a blown cylinder head in between cylinders. I did the repair back in 2018 on the same motor.
Okay.
So I got a feeling it's either they overheated it real bad and burned the gasket again, or that motor has worked on the block or something.
What would cause an overheat on this? I mean, a bad impeller or what? Or
Bad impeller, running it. You know, he does a lot of trolling for dolphin.
okay.
You know, mahi-mahi, and you know, running along the weed lines and stuff like that. A lot of times it sucks up weeds, and if you get them a little overheated, you know, long enough, you keep doing it over and over, it could cause damage to the water gasket.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's a gasket, but that is something that I don't know what he does. You know, I asked him and said he'd never been overheating, but I'm finding it hard to believe. You know, in so many years, in 2018 until now, that it's going to happen again. And he hasn't done the impeller in his engine as far as with me and since. So that impeller should have been done a while back ago already.
So now we're removing the injectors, right? Oh, the rail. Yeah, the rail.
Which the injector's going to come out with it.
Any particular way that they need to pull the rail out so it doesn't damage the injectors or anything?
Not really. You just got to make sure when you pull it back, put it back in, you don't damage the injectors. Because the way they designed it, you know, it's a little bit on the tighter area, you know, to get to the bolts and stuff. Some people take them out with rail and injectors and all. I'd rather get them out of the way.
What tool are we using now? What wrench?
That's a 12 millimeter
12
wrench.
millimeter.
And then the bolts on the intake, they're 12 also.
How hard are these jobs when you go ahead and smash a thumb?
Hurts. Especially, you know, in the colder time. Like right now it's warmed up pretty good, but when it's colder, it hurts more.
It was colder this morning. It was like a freezing 67.
Yeah. I'm sure people up north are saying, oh yeah, we're jealous.
I had a down jacket on, guys, in the morning.
I did too. When I went to take my son to school. But it's Florida. Cold in the morning, by 10:30, you're back to a t-shirt.
How would you know, for instance, like you have a customer, you're already doing this huge job. Will it make sense to say, hey, listen, I already have everything disassembled. Why don't we go ahead and get the injectors cleaned or something like that?
Normally, I'll inspect them. The motor was running fine prior. There's no need for it. But if the motor was you know, if I see the injectors on the ends rusty or there's corrosion on it, we'll have them send them out. But injectors, you know, if you keep the filters clean and the fuel clean, you really don't have a lot of issues with injectors.
I see that rail already coming loose. And I see that there's like a plastic grommet on that, or
That's a spacer.
Okay, so there's a plastic spacer on that. Okay, gotta make sure that doesn't fall.
Yeah, they fall. You gotta catch them.
Let me see the.
You see the injectors? Those injectors should get sent out. You see the rust on it, like I was telling you about? When you see rust on them?
Let me see if my camera could get it. Maybe it might be able to pick it up. Like this one up here, no. I can see it. You can see that.
You know what that tells you? That this cylinder is the one most likely to get in the water.
This one right here?
A lot of the times they'll burn cylinder head gaskets in between cylinders, and that's what you normally will see, is burning a head gasket in between cylinders. Or around the exhaust area.
And there's the grommet, right? Oh, the spacer.
Now,
let me see that spacer. Open your hand real quick, Danny, so I can see that. So I want to show them that spacer.
You see the spacer?
There you go. Cool.
And
so
this one, you see, only that one is the one that has the rust on it. And that's the spark plug's not coming off either.
Yeah.
On that cylinder.
What was that?
Just remember, when you do this job, be very organized with your bolts. That's going to make the job a lot easier to go back together.
And what is this white thing that you have here?
This one or that?
This one right here.
That? I have no clue. You brought that.
That's one of my lenses. Just want to see if you knew if there's some foreign things on your cart.
Yeah, that I knew it was something camera related. I just didn't know what it was. Like a lens, something.
12 millimeter again.
12 millimeter back again.
And we're removing the.
That's the actual manifold.
Okay, guys, the manifold is coming off right now. Oh boy, yeah, you see that thing come loose real quick.
Good thing is the stuff's on there, but it keeps it in place. You see the hose I was telling you about? Pulls it down?
Yeah.
I'm going to remove it out of here, then remove that one out of the back side. And
so it's this one right here.
You got this one, and this one, you know, the wind down on the bottom, it goes right behind here by the thermostat bypass. Which now I'll remove from there.
Danny, you must be busy as hell.
I'm always busy. Busy is good. It's stressful, but it's good.
Yeah, like I mean, you can get a lot done here, but you go to on location all the time.
I go to all the locations. I go to the marinas. I go to a lot of marinas. Actually, I do a lot more mobile than I do in-house a lot of the time. The only time I use the shop is do big repairs and power heads and things like that. And even power heads, I'll do them in marinas too.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of times it takes longer to get the forklift drivers to help you out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of
over here,
process.
you got your own forklift. You could pull your own things and
you normally get them done faster here. Another thing you're gonna see is our thermostats. You'll see how they look. Once I gotta take them out, I normally take them out of the way.
So this one has 2 thermostats?
Yep. Every V motor is gonna have 2 thermostats.
Now, if somebody wanted to swap out the thermostats, they would have to remove the top cover and what else?
Just the top cover,
Just
just with a 10 millimeter socket, take the thermostats off.
Okay.
That's all it takes.
So that could be something a lot of people could do themselves if they had to.
Yep.
So you're going to inspect those thermostats now?
Normally when I do a job like this, I will replace thermostats because I'm sure he hasn't replaced them since. And we'll see how they look through. See the hoses I was telling you about? It's that one up here, that one down there.
Yeah.
Gaskets out of the way.
Are these gaskets going to be changed?
Normally I change them. You can reuse them because they're multi-layered gaskets, but I normally would change them just because I just want to cover my work. Make sure they don't leak, have any rough idling issues, because if you're sucking up air, cause problems.
All right, so here are the
Most
thermostats.
of the times, you could get away with leaving them, but pull those thermostats out.
All right.
Not too bad.
All right, so what would they have to look for if it were bad?
A lot of times this end here will come out, and that means they're stuck open. If they're stuck closed, there's no way of telling you. I know we just change them, you're already there for new ones.
Yeah. Are the parts on these Suzukis pretty expensive?
Not too bad. The idle air control valve is pricey, but it's not bad. It's fair.
Who would you say has the most expensive parts?
They're pretty equal. Now, the Mercury, the Verado, the thermostat is very expensive.
Yeah.
It only uses one on the inline 6 and the inline 4 Verado, but it's like $168 for a thermostat, which these are 40-something bucks a piece.
That's a big difference.
Big difference in price. Even though there's two, it's still cheaper than buying the two than buying just one for a Verado.
Now, anything you're looking for in that and where the
Not really. You know, you can see some corrosion here and there, but not crazy. You see the. Let me get it like.
And what is this? Is that water or fuel that's dripping on there?
That's fuel.
Fuel.
That's fuel is coming out of there. Just take it off there. Now, when we get to his bolts, they're back in here.
And remove those. Are those water?
14 millimeter.
But those water lines there that hold the thermostat, is that something that people normally change when they're doing a job like this, or no?
No, those hoses there for the thermostat. There's no pressure on there because that's when the thermostat opens, just bypasses, goes right back to the exhaust, and it dumps it out in the ocean.
Have you seen any of those bust or blow?
Never.
Never.
I've seen one of those hoses that bust. I've seen the clamp rust and stuff like that, but never seen it blow out.
Okay. I'm asking guys. I'm trying to figure out, maybe along the way you might want to take care of certain things.
I've never seen one.
So it's not like a common issue.
No. Not at all. See, you gotta remove this piece here, which is a 12, to get the power head up, and then you got 5 bolts back in here. You got these two there, and another one in the middle. But you gotta take this off here
To get to the actual.
to remove the power head, because if not, you'll break his ends on the valve cover.
Okay. So we're pretty we're pretty far along.
Huh?
We're pretty far along.
Yeah. I can tell you, they can get them done pretty fast. See, they got washers in there with seals on the inner ones.
All right, so these are off. And that's on a gasket right there as well, right?
Yep.
How do you see the gasket?
Not in bad shape. These normally you reuse because they're so thick that they will always compress and seal. You always got to put RTB on some point. Right.
RTB, what do you mean by RTB?
RTB. I use a grade. Okay. Or you can use the Suzuki RTB, which is a very good RTB also.
Okay. You have some here that we can show them, or no? Don't worry about it. We can show it later. We can show it later.
I may not have none at the moment. But it's just a Permatex gray RTB, so I always what I use.
All right. Just want to ask the question. Some people might not know.
Drop that.
That's another 12?
That's a 14.
14? So this is on the head side, right?
That holds the power head in place also.
And there's a couple back there as well?
There's total 5 in here.
So there's one right there in the center?
There's 1 in the center and 2 on this side.
Okay.
1 in the very middle between these 2 hoses.
So yeah, that one in the middle of those 2 hoses on.
See this one here?
Yeah.
There's 1 there, and then there's another one up towards that the right.
Yeah,
side.
I'm sure people are gonna probably miss that one, and they're gonna be like, "What the hell? Why can't this come off?"
Corrosion, no, I'm not gonna clean it. Out of there.
If you, Danny, if you had to do this without that drill, it'll be double the time, huh?
Without that drill, yeah. By hand takes you much longer. That impact will save you at least an hour and a half of elbow grease.
So an hour and a half. That's
See the bolts over
very very important. Let me hold on a second. Let me get a good shot of that. Okay, so. Now, what is that area called again? What would did they find it? Like if
they're mounted on the adapter plate, which is that's where they mount into.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these around here, then remove the bottom ones, and then I got to take this front piece off to get the rest out of there.
So everything up here now.
Yeah, you see these bolts that go around here? You got to get these, that one here. You got that one, you got that one here, another one here, another one there, and another one there. You got a bunch of bolts all the way around the whole thing. A lot of times I break them free by hand. Some you're gonna have to just take them out by hand. Like this one here, you can try to swivel or get them out by hand.
Another what, 8?
These are 12.
12s? 12 millimeters, guys.
They have a mixture of 12 and 14 millimeter on the power head, on the mounting bolts.
I'm assuming you have to torque spec these later, right?
Yeah. On the power head bolts, you don't have to go too crazy. As long as you make sure that they're nice and tight. Cylinder heads, you have to torque them. But on the power head bolts, you can get away without not torquing them, it'll be fine too. As long as they're tight, that's all you want it to be. Just try to time them even. You don't have to really torque the mounting bolts on the power head if you don't want to.
Now, how much of a mission does it become when one of these are stuck and they break off?
It becomes a real mission.
That's when it becoms a chit show.
Yep. Yeah, it's real bad. You know, for the one motor that's known to do that, it's mainly the 4-cylinder Suzuki's. They're known for C-sub bolts around the exhaust. Like the 90s, the 115s, the 140s, even with the 150s, the 175s, and the 200 4-cylinders. Some of the bolts around the exhaust are known to corrode, corrode and seize up on you. And those are the real pain ones.
So you're just getting them all nice and loose so that you can use the machine, the impact on it.
Which, I would take them out with the impact. Sometimes I'd rather go with my hand just in case. And you have some underneath here, you got to move out of the way when you do it. Got one there, and you got another one here.
Where was the other one at?
Here, and this kind of covers it.
Oh, okay.
You got to make sure you don't miss it.
So that lip actually covers it. Oh,
you see,
okay.
There's one more over here.
Yeah. Okay. Important to know. That's a good catch.
When you come on around this side, you have the same. You see, kind of hidden. You won't see it. Gotta make sure you move that gasket out of the way, and then fix it. Now we gotta take off the number 14, and then I'll leave just a couple bolts before we take the power head off.
No luck. And these are all 14 right here?
Yes, sir. These are all 14.
Danny, don't call me sir, bro. You just ruined the whole video. It was a great video, bro. It was a great video, Danny. I can't put this on YouTube now.
Figure out how to hype it up a little bit. No, you hate it, so.
Dude, the one I haven't been able to stop with the whole sir thing is Fishman Joe, dude.
No?
Fishman Joe gives me a hard time. It's like an ongoing battle there. I'm gonna have to pull his drain plug. I don't know. One day he's gonna find his Pelican boat a little watery. Keeps on playing with that sir line.
I guess that's just discipline, bro. That's all that is.
So there's
the problem with today's society. Some of you lost that. Yes, sir, no, sir.
all right, guys. So this is what he's been working on right here. You see these right here? See that?
These will stay, because that's for that didn't break. It's just there's studs that holds it in place here. missed one. Could have shaved one.
So how are you enjoying the extra square footage over here at this new shop?
I love it.
Big difference, huh?
Big difference. I got new lights I got to put up on the shop. 6 big LED lights, 40, I think they're 42,500 lumens. 6 of them I'm going to put in here, so I want to make sure I have plenty of lighting. I also got fans. We don't need the fans now, but maybe a little bit once it warms up even more.
Yeah.
But I do like the footage, and not only that, the height of the shop, you know, just tall ceilings, and not only the tall ceilings, you can get both with radars that I wasn't able to get on the other boat.
How big of a boat can you put in here through this door?
Biggest one I had so far has been a 36. The biggest I had, which I still got room.
That door is how wide?
That door is almost 12 feet wide and almost 12 feet tall.
12 and 12, guys. So you can probably get in some pretty big boys over here. Because not all boats have a 12-foot beam.
Yeah, it's not under 12. It's like 11 and change, like 11.8 around there.
Cool.
Height-wise, I think it's closer to the 12 more than the width.
All right, so what do we got going on now?
Now we're gonna make sure take the front piece off. I'm gonna turn off the batteries like that. You know, we don't have power. Disconnect the power, and then I'm gonna disconnect the shift and throttle cables and the harness.
Okay.
And then next up is pretty much just pulling the power head. We're almost ready to pull the power head.
All right, and then you'll be able to see exactly right then and there, hey, we have a huge problem or not.
We gotta pull the cylinder head off.
Once we pull the cylinder head off, okay. All right, guys, wait for it, literally.
All right, just want to make sure I got everything off here. Always double check, see? Missing one. See that right there? Gotta remove that hose. Almost forgot about it. Always double check.
Right here, this one right here, guys. It's hard for the camera to tell everything. But I guess that's why we're doing what we're doing, right? So I have a bunch of people already recognize you from the channel?
A lot of people recognize from the channel already.
Isn't that crazy?
That one's off. Always double check everything, because if you leave one behind, you cause damage and it will cost money to break something.
So somebody that doesn't know, and you know, you give them a certain price and they're like, probably like, what, how much?
I get people that you know, when you give them a price, they think I'm insane, but they don't know the process.
Yeah,
so
but now they're gonna know the process.
They think it's something that's really easy to do, and you can do it in a couple hours, and they assume, you know, doing this repair, it's like changing an impeller, and that's not the case. It takes a lot longer than they just keep getting an impeller. That's the issue with a lot of customers. They don't have the experience. They don't know. You see that more on the first-time boaters.
Yeah.
Than you know, someone that's been boating for a long time.
Bust out another 1,000, baby.
That's what a boat stands for. And they're not serious. They're not lying about that. They're very serious about that. Because just in parts, a lot of the times you'll spend just that, just in parts alone.
All right, so now you all those shifting and throttle cables, everything you're starting to.
Now what I'm going to do is that's the harness, power, negative, power, the positive, and then
So the starter.
Shift and throttle cable. The starter's going to stay. All I do is take this off, take this front piece off, and then pull the power head. Just take the two bolts. Right now the power head is held only by 2 bolts.
Okay. What kind of hull is this?
This is a Sea Fox.
Sea Fox.
Sea Fox, I believe it's 25 or 26. Speedo, speedometer hose. We'll take these off because it's not yanking on the gasket. I got all the stuff disconnected where they needed to be. These off. Always remember, double check everything. It's easier to double check something than break something. And now when I remove all this, I also got to disconnect the trim. No man would take my shoes off, it's so filthy. I'm not gonna worry about it now.
So you're shutting down the power to the boat.
You can tell the boat sits underneath the tree and it has leaves all over the place.
Are changing the shifting cables on these Suzuki pretty mission or no?
Not too bad. It's almost the same on all of them. It's actually not that bad.
Any particular brand that you like?
C-Star or U-Flex. They both make a great cable. Either or, they both make a very good shift and throttle cable.
Yeah.
All the other brands, I haven't had great experience with, but C-Star and which is probably the best, and also U-Flex, they make the best brand of shift and throttle cable. For me, my experience at least.
Yeah.
And they're also the main brand of shift and throttle cable too. Which I always try to use good stuff because good stuff is going to last. It's going to live, especially in the environment. You know, when you put the hardware back on these, the clips and all that, like that, you don't lose them.
So you just put it right back.
Right back. They're so small, I'd rather leave it on the engine. If you leave them on the engine, less likely they're going to get lost. I'm going to put on this tie racks. And I never recommend to use an impact on a starter, because you will break them most of the time. I've seen people do it, they get away with it. I know them don't do it. Use a socket and a ratchet, and you're going to be better off.
What is that, another 12?
That's another 12.
Well, you kept that there as well. So you're just unhooking the cabling. You don't have to unhook the starter on this.
No. On none of the outboards you do it. All you do is just disconnect the power in the ground, disconnect the key switch harness, and then all you have to do is just take it out of the way. That's all you gotta do. You gotta remove the fuel line also, and the trim. Always remember to remove the trim.
So if this were a 300 Verado, would you have been already?
Been done already by now.
You would have been done.
I would have had the power head.
What if it were a Yamaha?
Same thing. I would have had the power head up by now.
Yeah.
Yamahas, I could take a power head off of a Yamaha literally in half an hour, 25 minutes.
What do you like to work on the most?
Me personally, I like either Verado or Yamahas are not bad. I could deal with Yamahas too. The one that these like the most to work on is Suzuki. I think it'd make a great motor, but you know, working on them, it just takes so much longer.
It's more work.
Yeah, it's more work.
So would you say that the repair costs are more expensive because of the time on Suzuki's?
Certain repair costs like this, yes, it's going to cost more money because you have more labor involved.
So here's the thing, right? So sometimes people ask me, and I'm obviously unbiased because I don't give a crap what you get, right? But people ask me, Alfred, what's the best outboard, right? And my response is always like, well, you got to think about factors of where you're going to use it, like, right? So if you're going to go to Bimini and the Bahamas all the time, right? A lot of those guys know everything that have to do with Yamaha. Right? So it makes sense to have a Yamaha engine because those guys, wherever you're going to be at, if you have a problem and you need to get back, those guys can help you. Not everybody can go ahead and fix an inboard or not everybody can fix maybe a Suzuki. This seems like it's a lot of work and a lot of people might not know how to do or deal with this, and the easy answer is I don't do that, or we don't do that.
That's a problem here in South Florida, especially. There's only very little people that work on inboards that knows what they're doing, and
that's the quote, that knows
what they're doing.
What they're doing.
It's very important because a lot of people, there's people that will work on them, but their parts changing. They can't figure out what's going on. And that's very important when you own an inboard here. Even Everroot. Not everybody knows how to work on an Everroot, you know, on an E-Tech.
We got a special guest in the house.
No.
Welcome to K&J. That's the sidekick, huh?
She's camera shy. She don't like the camera.
That's why you'll always be back. You'll never see me. I'm the one recording all the time.
You're the one who does all the behind the scenes of what he does. It's nice to have a second hand, huh?
Always nice.
A second hand that loves you.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's but that's part of life.
That is awesome. Oh boy.
And now we're going to get the front piece that's in the front.
Let me get this. All right, so what do we got going here?
We got a two 12mm bolts in the front of the motor that we have to remove.
So these are 212s as well, right?
12s. You pretty much take the whole motor apart with you start from an 8, a 10, a 12, and a 14. That's all you're gonna need.
Okay.
It's out of the way. Now, remove the fuel line. On the water, for the fuel water filter, which normally they have a ring. This motor will have a ring. Somebody got rid of it. And this is a trim plug right here. And you also have the trim indicator, which you got to make sure you remove.
Which one is the trim indicator?
This one with a green plug here. That's your trim indicator.
Okay.
You got a trim indicator, and also you got a trim limit. You got to remove.
All right. Damn, so you have to pull and remove a lot of things to get to this.
That power right
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Problem is, if you don't take these things off, you would literally rip them off on the way out. You gotta make sure you disconnect everything out of it. Make sure nothing's tangled.
Yeah, always check double and triple, right?
Check 3 or 4 times before you pull it off.
All right, let's pause real quick because I got to put some battery on the other camera real quick, and we will continue in a second. So nothing's gonna happen, nothing's gonna change. I'm just gonna edit real quick. Boom. All right, so we shall continue.
I'm gonna loosen 1 bolt. I'm only gonna leave 1 bolt moving forward. And,
What do you mean by loosen 1 bolt?
yeah, I'm only gonna remove. There's 2 bolts left now. 1 here and 1 the other side. So you see them right there, and on the other side there's another one.
Okay.
So
And
what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna.
That's the only thing holding the power head still on.
Yep. That's the only thing holding it right, as of right now. Just those 2 bolts.
And the same thing is on the other side as well?
Same thing.
Does it get in there? Yeah, it kind of does.
Actually, a line one left one over here.
You had an extra one that you missed?
Yeah.
Which one?
This one here. Which one I'm gonna do? I'm gonna loosen the other one and just leave that one. Right.
So you want to have one, why?
Like that, you know, when I move the motor, the boat forward, when it rocks, it doesn't fall off back to the ground.
Because we have to move, in this case, the forklift is outside and we were working half inside, half outside. You gotta move this forward so you can get the forklift on to pick up the power head. And now you know why there's one extra bolt there. That's gonna be the saving grace. I mean, it would be pretty difficult for that, even if that bolt was removed, for that thing to come off,
It
right?
won't come off on a Suzuki.
Really?
On a Verado, you got the studs. You can leave them off loose and it won't fall off.
Really? Wow.
But
So
you
you're
really got to move it. It's not like something
Yeah.
that fast is gonna. But it could because it's a top heavy motor.
okay. Oh wow. Yeah, every day you learn something. How was your day today? No, great. My day, I just, Suzuki fell, power head fell on my foot, babe.
How to ruin your feet. You probably have to take that feet off if
Dude,
he doesn't do it for you.
You want to see God? Seriously, you want to see God? Some people go to heaven and see God. Just let a battery fall on your toe. It happened to me. I saw him.
Yeah, you see God. Imagine his power head. You see
Listen.
God, Jesus.
I saw a not a power. If I felt it, it happened to me. I opened up the back of my truck. There was a loose battery, and all of a sudden it fell straight on my foot. And look, I had Crocs on, dude.
That'll hurt.
Bro,
Imagine the shoes I wear. They're not much.
in a weird way, I think the Crocs saved my toes. It obviously broke like 2 or 3 of my toes, but when I saw my toe black, I got scared. I was like, that's it, I lost a toe. I'm gonna be a toeless dude.
I broke a toe before and I think it hurts.
But it was beyond black. It was like, imagine you just burning something, like right now you're getting a piece of wood and you just burn it and it just turns black. Mm-hmm. That's how my toe was, in a matter of seconds.
Oh, it happens quick.
In a matter of seconds. Like it was first it was excruciating pain. And then there was some blood and stuff like that, but I'll tell you, don't ever let a battery drop on your toe.
Another thing, when that happens, that night you're not gonna sleep.
Oh no, I didn't sleep for a week.
You're gonna have a sleepless night.
I didn't sleep for a week, guys. It was that bad. right, this power head's almost off, and we'll have a better idea of what's going on. Because we're gonna move the boat now.
So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move it forward, and
we need to move that trim up a little bit, or no?
Drive around this side.
Do we need to move that trim up a little bit, or we're good?
No, I'm gonna bring the trim down. I mean the trailer down, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna push it back down.
All right, guys. Let's wait for it. Pretty interesting job, man. I'm glad I'm able to show you guys this whole process. I mean, you only get this stuff on Alfred Montaner's channel, guys. I mean, this guy's giving away his work, literally. But listen, this is why sometimes I tell people, just work with what you do and do it more and do it better so you can make money at what you know how to do and let the pros do what they do. Because sometimes people say, oh, well, I'll save myself some money and I'll do it myself. And that's when you have problems out there in the middle of the ocean. Do your job and do it better and make more money, and then get a guy like this that knows what they're doing. It's a smarter way to do it. There's a saying in Spanish that says, lo barato sale caro, meaning whatever's cheap is gonna cost you more. Ain't that the truth? He's got the forklift over there. Let me. Just gonna move this over here. He just needs enough so he can. Yeah, I think you need a little bit more.
Have to go a little bit more?
Yeah, I think so. Here, pull it out. I'll get the chalk. This you'll never see at Black Point, guys. You'll never see that at Black Point right there. Ever in your life will you see somebody chalk their boat. You're good. Oh boy, things are getting interesting now. I should have chalked it again. He'll do it now. You chalked it again, or no? You're good.
It's not going to go anywhere since it doesn't have a wheel. The trailer jack should be fine. We'll put this front just because
Safety
you
first.
can't see a blue boat.
Yeah, just in case. That giant boat that's in front, you know? Just in case. Hey, listen, if we need to wait for a moment, I'm down. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
All right, guys, so we got one bolt to go. And this power head is coming off. Dude. Oh, hey, smash that like for Danny for letting us film this. This is some good stuff. you're good. My camera's in your way, dude. You're good? How much would a power head like this weigh?
I have to guess this power head will weigh somewhere roughly around 3 and change, 380 pounds,
Okay.
more or less. Roughly.
Now I'm assuming you're going to use this.
You use this, take it off of this one. This I did it yesterday at around almost 6 o'clock by the time I got done with this one. Taking it off an old boat. Now, I'll install it back on this.
So here are your lifting points. Here you got one. Here you got another.
That total of 3.
Yeah.
One in the front, 2 on the back and each side.
Now, any way that you recommend these being hooked up so they're safe?
Oh, you normally use chains. These straps are made to lift too. But always hook them up on this lifting hooks here. I'm gonna run that through here. Get this shackle, run it through there. And I get a chain in the middle of them, and then it lifts it pretty even. I'm gonna get a chain right here in the middle, now, and I'll lift.
All right. All right, so we just need that one bolt and we're ready to go up.
That's it. I'm gonna hold it up now. What I do is try to balance it out properly. You got to lift even. See how there's slack here? You want that. Much better. Alright, I'll remove that one bolt.
Wait for it. Danny, tell him wait for it.
Wait for it.
It's about to happen. That's it. She's free. Now do you do a once look over again or no?
I always do.
Are you pretty confident that it's?
No, I always look once again because you see this piece here, gotta go with it. So when I have to tie it to something like that when it comes off, it doesn't break anything. Make sure nothing attached. That's always the number one thing when you bring it up. You hear?
Yeah.
That's good.
We're ready?
Yes, we are.
All right, guys, let's see how this thing comes undone. Boom, just like that. Wow.
Give it a little wiggle, like that off. Don't break anything.
That's so wild. There she's off. Wow. So wild. Crazy. All right, so
You can see up in here all the messiness of the
what is that? What's going on there?
RTV. This one, you know, you're supposed to put RTV and all that stuff when you put it together, and just making sure nothing falls in there. Either way, you got to clean all this. You can see all the sludge and all that stuff from the oil. How nasty it is. Pretty nasty stuff.
All right, so Danny, what are we looking for in here now? Like
In there's not much we can do there. Well, we got to. Our next step is remove the cylinder head.
okay.
I looked in here just to see if there's any metal or anything. The motor obviously didn't spin a bearing or anything like that. Just having metal, just water going in the oil and in the cylinders.
Yeah, you see a little bit of milky right here, right?
Yeah, you see it all here. You see the color. It's supposed to be a light brown color.
Not that cream.
Not that creamy
Caramel.
coffee looking
Yeah.
color. You don't want that. That's what we got now. When we clear that area out, we're gonna put it up there, take the cylinder heads off.
Oh, we're gonna clear over here. Okay. Which is where I have my temporary.
Well, I got the seating from my boat, which I got to clear that area.
All right. Where are we gonna put it? Here, right?
What I'm gonna do is move this. I'm gonna put it right there next to my toolbox.
Okay. All right, so he's gonna put it right on top of this here. But this is actually one of the covers for his boat. Pretty interesting, man. Really, really interesting.
Probably have to turn off the camera and get that stuff out of the way. Should have done that before.
That's fine. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna put this power head on
That crate there.
on this crate, and then
crate,
start,
we're gonna
and
take
then
it apart.
we're gonna take the, we're gonna check the cylinder head.
Yep, we're gonna remove this. We're gonna show you the process of removing the cylinder head and take the cylinder heads off and look at it and see what's the damage inside.
Now, can somebody? There's no way that you can check the cylinder head on this without pulling out the power head, right?
No, you can you get a bore scope or a camera, which and look inside the cylinder, but you only got a small view of that.
Okay.
If you have a head gasket or a cracked cylinder head, there's no way of seeing it unless you take it apart.
I'm gonna tell them to smash that like button right about now, because we're gonna stop for a second, put it on there, and then start the process again.
Perfect. On it.
All right, so we're about to put it. We just cleared out.
Making some room.
This is gonna be the. So Danny, you were telling me that there was a brand new power head for a Verado here.
Yeah, 350.
350.
And that's the dead Verado 350 right here.
This was it right here.
Yep. You see how they damaged the block here, even melted part of the pistons, overheated so bad that they destroyed even the cylinder head is damaged like that.
How much would a Verado power head like that cost? About 350.
350, I think it's going for about $14,000 to $15,000.
So I did pretty good. Even if I wouldn't have started the Verado and got the Verado moving, it would have been worth a lot of money, right? Just getting it, and that power head alone, somebody would have spent a lot of money on that.
Everybody, and not only that, parts for Verados are very expensive. Pistons are expensive. Any part form are very expensive.
I'm glad I went under, and well, I'm glad somebody else went under, and I was on the boat filming everything that. Some people ask me, you know what have you done? And I get mad. I'm like, I put everybody together. I mean, and then my response is, what did Henry Ford do?
Henry Ford put everybody together?
That's right. So somebody has to I had to put the right cast of characters in play for that series to happen. And I mean, they don't know what happened in this video, but I'm sure if they want to watch that video, I'll link it up here to the right. And I'll tell you what, Danny at the end came through for us on the sunk Verado. So we needed some light, and this Suzuki needs some light as well. All right, wait for it.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the stuff apart before I rest it. Like that, it makes it easier.
All right, let's go over here. Let me get on this side because I think I got a better angle to film. Go do what you got to do. So far with what you've seen, how do you see this power head once you pulled it up?
Doesn't look bad. It's just what I'm curious to see is what went bad inside it.
Yeah.
That was the most, good thing is it caught it on time because you see there's no rust on the timing chain or anything on the bottom.
So that water will continuously just ruin the timing chain, everything?
Yep, it keeps staying in there, especially salt water will rust. Even though marine engine oil has a lot of corrosive additives in it that automotive oil does not have. Which people think that you know, you could use motor oil, regular car motor oil on an outboard. You could get away with it, but I don't recommend it. That's just my personal opinion. There's additives that marine engine oil has that automotive engine oil does not have. At the end of the day, oil is oil, it comes from the ground, but it's not the same. There's different additives inside of it. And that's what makes the difference from marine engine oil to automotive engine oil. Just move it down a little bit.
So you're going to start removing some of this harness?
Yeah, trying to get some of the stuff out of the way. Because once you see all these things here,
Yeah.
once you take the cylinder head, they're all going to be in the way. So I always make sure and get them out of the way first. And don't have to worry about it later. Get the coils out, get all that stuff out of the way like that when it's time to come off. Makes life easier than trying to scramble around it. And if you see, a lot more bolts and stuff come out.
Do people rebuild these Suzukis often?
Some people do. I don't rebuild outboards anymore. For me, it takes too much time that I don't have. I just rather get a complete power head, you know, and replace it. And it's less headaches to deal with. Because a rebuild, you're relying on the machine shop. If the machine shop didn't do their job correctly, it's good as nothing. You gotta make sure the machine shop.
Do you have
there's a lot of good machinists out there that will do good work, but sometimes they're so busy that you have to wait for them for weeks before you get it done. And I can't afford to wait weeks to get something done, because you lose a lot of money and then you piss off a lot of customers that way.
Which I'm sure your time is pretty limited, huh?
The problem is, you know, boaters, sometimes they're patient, some of them are very impatient. And most of them, especially in the summertime, they want their boats yesterday. So if they don't have their boats done right away, or the sooner the better, they get upset. So you try to get them done the faster the better. Less headaches you got to deal with. But I like that, you know, get them done, move on to the next one.
So the whole harness is coming off.
Just pushing to the side, getting out of the way. Because since we're going to be working here in the cylinder heads, you don't want it in your way.
A lot of people are going to enjoy this video, Danny.
Huh?
A lot of people are going to enjoy this
A
video.
lot of people will like the video.
They like all that do-it-yourself and the process of learning, right?
That's the only way you're learning. Doing it. If you don't do it, you're never going to learn. It's like learning how to ride a bicycle. You can watch all the videos you want, but you got to actually do it in order to learn it. If you don't do it, to practice it, you're not going to learn. So always practice makes perfection. If you don't actually do it, you won't be able to we'll put these bolts back. That holds the harness like that.
You don't lose them.
Easier, you don't lose them. I don't like losing bolts. It's one thing I don't like, losing bolts. I'll take the coils out of the way. People label coils, really doesn't matter if a coil is a coil. The motor doesn't know where they go.
So it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. A lot of people
Is
see them.
Is that on all motors outboard or just Suzuki?
On all outboards. As long as they have the same coils, it doesn't matter where they really go. You know, if a coil's working, it doesn't matter if you put it in any cylinder, it's going to work. If there's something wrong with a coil, it doesn't, you know, then it's going to affect what cylinder is going to fire. But coil's a coil. These are the variable valve timing solenoids. There's a filter in there. Also, you see that screen? It traps debris inside of it. There's all the bolt.
All right, let me see that.
Goes in there.
So that if that gets clogged up, what happens?
You won't open the variable valve timing, and the motor won't come up on power. So you always check the screen.
Okay.
On the variable valve timing too. I've seen people put a lot of RTV and the RTV silicone gets to that filter and plug it up, and it creates problems too.
Same thing, opposite side?
Same thing opposite side. It's got one per head. It's clear, but I always clean them out, make sure there's no moisture and water in it.
What are you cleaning this stuff out with?
I normally clean it in the parts washer, and some things I'll clean with brake cleaner. You see, everything has to go organized.
Let me see.
Organized.
Let me see. Let's see, guys. This is so far everything that's been removed. You know, I am going to have to pause this video because I gotta put a brand new SD card, and I'm gonna have to. I don't like doing edits. I don't know if you've noticed that. It's not because I'm lazy, it's because I like to tell the whole story as everything is happening. So let me go. Luckily, I have this camera here, and I have an SD card on that camera. And we're gonna go ahead and pause this video, and then we're not gonna miss nothing, because nothing's gonna happen. All right, we gotta stop for 1 second, Danny. Boom. All right, so the power of editing, dude, isn't that amazing? Like, I just saved them 5 minutes of their life.
Want to make sure I got everything here. Now I have to stop. Just remember, also, I'm gonna show you on this side. These little caps here, you gotta remove them. There's bolts behind there when you take this piece off. But if you see it doesn't come off, there's bolts over here, and there's bolts inside here. 8mm bolts. You gotta take those caps off. If you try prying it, you're gonna break it off.
Okay.
Always remember to remove that.
On both sides.
On both sides.
Wow.
If you want, come around and throw them on this side, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove these. You can see the bolt right inside that.
I don't think my camera's gonna get it, but it's a good idea. They'll get the gist of it. And you said those are 8mm, right?
8mm.
All right.
This is what I'll do. We'll put them back after I remove this. I will put them back in the same head again. You're gonna see now. Watch. 1, 2, and 3, 4 bolts.
So without that, you can't get in there.
You won't be able to remove the actual cover.
See, you guys, I just saved somebody a huge headache. Hey, they better smash that like button. At least once. Somebody's jamming next door, huh?
Yeah.
That's an everyday.
Fiberglass guy.
So there's a lot of boat things going on in this area, right?
There's several of them. I'm one of them. He does fiberglass, and there's another gentleman does. I'm not sure. I don't know the other person personally. That I think he does fiberglass also. Actually, I gotta take the valve off. Run in, jumping the gun here.
Yeah, I think.
I'm not good at multitasking.
I think you want lunch. That's what it is.
What?
I think you want lunch. You're trying to get this done before lunch. All right, guys.
It's gonna be brunch, lunch and breakfast too. So I don't need.
I'll tell you, it's surprisingly fast how fast you're doing this, considering everything that's been done.
There's a lot lot of bolts in this motor. Ton of them. This is gonna make it look nasty. No, not too bad. Look at it.
Wow,
Very little rust.
that does look good.
Very little rust. Then
Damn, hey, for 2006, huh?
2006 motor.
Hey, did you tell the owner of this boat and engine that he's gonna have to pay me for this footage?
Is it? You have to tell him that.
It's gonna. Everybody else that's watching is not gonna have to pay, but he is, because he's the one who's getting all the satisfaction of seeing everything that's being done to his engine.
He didn't even know his engine is famous now.
Isn't that wild? All right, so you're just prying it off there?
Pry it off.
Boom.
Pry it off. Prying it off like that. When I take the timing chains and all that, I gotta take the tensor and all that good stuff off. It comes right off. Because then I gotta turn the motor, remove some more bolts from the bottom.
Damn, Danny, this is a lot of work, dude.
And also gotta remove the camshaft followers, which are these. These are the camshaft followers here. Got to take the camshafts off just to get to the cylinder head bolts right underneath here. Quite a bit of stuff to remove.
This is a lot. I am. You know what happens is sometimes people don't understand why certain things cost what they do. And when videos like this hit their eyes, they're like, oh shoot, I get it now.
When people don't know, they assume it's something quick and easy. But guess what? It's not quick and easy. And you see how long it takes to take everything apart?
Yeah.
When you install it, it takes longer. Because installing it, you got to torque it, you got to torque all these cam followers back, you got to torque the cylinder heads and etc. It's not, you got to clean everything. It's not just putting it together. Everybody thinks it's just putting it together and it's that easy. It's not. That's not the way it works.
See that side as well while we're at it. Where'd you learn how to do all this, Danny?
I grew up on boats all my life, and also originally I went to school for automotive, and I learned real quick. I hated to work on cars because I like race cars, but not regular daily used cars.
Yeah.
And long story short, I'm gonna make it real short. When I first started working on boats, I used to piddle with my own stuff all the time.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, when a teenager. And then, there's this guy that he had a small repair shop, which he moved. And, he moved away from here from Florida now. And I used to work, I started working with him. I asked him if he needed a helper. And for a while, he told me, no, I don't need a helper. And then one day I told him, look, I don't care if you pay me or not. I don't care. I just want to, learn.
Yeah.
I was only a teenager, at the time, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Look, give me some work. I don't care. If you don't have to pay me, I don't care. Whatever you want me to do, I'll work for you. And he gave me the opportunity to learn. And he taught me a lot. And then from there, I moved to Fort Lauderdale. I didn't move. I actually started working over there on a yacht management company. I worked there for a few years, and I figured that those yachts weren't for me. Everything's so heavy and everything weighs a lot. So I knew one of the guys that worked next door to us that also worked for a yacht management company. A friend of his worked at the Mercury dealer that I started working at, and that's how I got the job.
So you were working at a Mercury dealer for a minute? I
worked at a Mercury dealer for about 12 years, almost 13 years.
Wow, so you must have seen your share of Mercuries.
Mm-hmm. We also worked at, he's also Suzuki and Mercury dealer. Also, we used to work with a lot of Yamahas also too. Not only Mercury and Suzuki.
Do you work on E-Techs ever?
Worked them very little, and I don't want to work on them anymore. Don't like them.
No. The good old E-Tech is gone.
E-Tech is over.
Emerald E-Techs, guys.
And I hate to tell people that do love the E-Techs, Emerald did it themselves. Because if you know you had a problem from many years, they kept producing the same problem over and over again. So they set their own trouble.
What was that problem?
A lot of problems, a lot of different problems.
Yeah.
A water cooling issue with the computers, and you know, it's just they have so many problems. There's a list probably longer than the shop of problems that they had. And then you ran to some E-Techs that they actually ran for a long time too. But
I have a 115 E-Tech on an 18-foot rib, and it hasn't given me any issues.
you get some of the get some
Oh no, and that'll happen with a lot. I mean, I bought a Jeep back in the day, it's brand new, 0 miles, and it was a lemon, straight up.
That's the way it is.
And now, regrettably, because of that experience, I'll never buy a Jeep, you know, because I had that many issues. And I loved the car, I loved the ride, I loved how it looked, everything about it. Just the fact that it wasn't reliable was such a pain for me that I was like, nah, I'm done.
I got a feeling like that with Ford. I had a Ford F-350. I bought it new, and that truck, I couldn't keep it off the dealership. New. We lived in a very little mall.
That always hurts, guys.
Some people love it, some people hate it.
Yeah, that always hurts.
I love it, hate it.
Look at this, man.
So,
We're getting close, we're getting close.
closer. Gotta take this off.
It's gonna be visible, real visible, obvious once we see what's going on. You haven't noticed anything so far that can be creating the issue that we've had, right?
No, not yet. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay it down, flip it, and I'll start taking the cylinder heads off. But I gotta get you know, the oil pump and all the timing chain components off of it before I'll continue doing that. Here we put something behind. Let's put the canister here. Take it off, because when you lay it down on this side, this tries to press against the fitting. Just be careful with that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people damage the canister there.
I think about 97.9% of the people have said, okay, I wanted to do this on my own, and now I'm just gonna call a guy like Danny, or Danny.
Always get that out of the way. So if the gas out of it, like that doesn't go everywhere. And when I lay that water down, it's not going to break anything. I'm going to get some of the stuff out of the way, like that to lay it. You're also going to see this crate's going to hold the weight. Because normally you hold the rod with the weight, just fine, it won't go a little bit heavier. So I'm going to easily drop it on there and see if it holds the weight.
Well, if you need an extra hand, let me know. I'll place this somewhere. I'll hold that harness if you need me to.
I'll lay it hang there for now. You gotta be careful to step on it. And then I can slowly lay it.
Oh boy.
It's fine.
Let me know if you want me to pull that down while you do
I'm
that.
trying to be very careful with it. I've got nothing under this damage. That's all. Because if it does fall, then it's real bad.
If it falls, then it's a chit show.
Bad chit show.
And you know, the customer will see that part of the video.
I know. And that's something I wouldn't want a customer to ever have to go.
How much would a power head like this cost of a Suzuki?
I haven't bought a Suzuki power head in a long time, but they don't, normally what they sell is a short block.
Okay.
Short block doesn't come with cylinder heads.
Okay.
Now, from Suzuki, I never bought one straight from Suzuki. I always use a company named OBR, or normally where to buy them from. And it's a short block. I think now they have an option you can buy the actual complete motor, but I'm still not 100% sure that they're offer that yet. It's funny.
You're definitely being cautious. Now, without this forklift, you'd be in a world of hurt, huh?
Yeah. What I like about the forklift is old as hell. The forklift is a 1974 Clark.
Yeah, she's older than me.
Yeah, and it has a flathead motor, but it's so small that for me, you know, replacing it with a new one, the new one's so much bigger.
Yeah.
That, it takes way more room.
Yeah.
That's one reason I still keep this old dog.
Hey, it works.
Still works.
That's
I
what.
just did the brakes recently.
Oh boy. If you need a hand, let me know.
This cardboard's killing me. It's fine. Where's the harness?
The harness is there, yeah. Let me get on this side, guys. I don't want to be in his way.
I'm moving the forklift out of the way, then we're gonna have a lot more room for us to watch. If you see that's all the timing chain components here. That's your oil pump here, valve timing sprockets. So now we're getting closer. We gotta remove this timing chain sensor, gotta remove the guide, the oil pump, and all the chains. And then we can take the head off. We got very little left to see what we have.
It's a lot of work, guys.
And remove Betsy, old Betsy out of the way.
So what do you think makes these Suzukis pretty reliable? I tell you, like,
You know, overall, it's pretty reliable because of the design. I think they're an overbuilt motor. The only downfall that they're tough to work on because it's a long procedure to get them all taken apart. But if you see, they're built, you know, very well built. They just have a lot of components, you know, for the timing assembly, you know, timing chain and stuff like that. Similar to like a modern car, you know.
what about the newer ones? Have you worked on any of the newer ones?
The newest one I worked on, you know, something like this big. I think it's been 2012.
So you haven't seen much of them?
I haven't seen much of them break. They don't break much. They have their issues. The only thing that I dislike about Suzuki on the newer ones You saw the harness that disconnected the gray plug, which is on this side right here. They put that plug in the bilge. That, for me, that is a stupid design. I hate to say it. If Suzuki, if you're listening, that's stupid. Put it right there, it's better.
Yeah.
In the bilge, they always corrode, and these plugs I've seen where they catch fire and melt and stuff like that too. Because water gets them, and there's power and ground runs in there. And
Yeah.
it melts, and it could even fire computer. That is one thing I do dislike about
The newer ones.
The newer ones. For me, it's a design flaw. That's one thing that they should fix, is that. Need to go to the man and get some more.
Here's kind of like all the. Now imagine going to a job. Danny, right now, if you didn't take this apart and somebody says, hey, I got this motor right here, it's in my house, it kind of looks like this, I know it looks bad, dude, but I have everything sorted out. Would you be able to put it all back together?
I can.
You can do it.
Yeah. The only thing is I'm gonna charge the customer more for that, because when they have it all sorted out, they don't have it organized like that. So that means I have to take my time to sort everything out correctly.
You have to use your experience. Yeah. And that experience costs money.
Not only the experience, if I take it apart, I know where to put everything.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys, they just get a bolt bin and throw everything in there, and then it makes it harder to do it. More time consuming to sort everything out the correct way. Because I don't like, I try to match every bolt and put them back where they belong. Not just where they fit.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
So here on the build back, you're gonna have to torque a lot of this stuff or no? And what are we removing here? What's this called?
That's the oil pump.
So if you have a bad oil pump, this is what you gotta do. You have to go through here to just swap this out if this were bad?
Yep.
What a mission.
You gotta remove the oil pump. You gotta take the power head off, same way.
So at what point, like right now, if you find something catastrophic right now when we open this?
If I see, like a cylinder that's pitted or something like that, then I have to call the customer and give them the diagnose.
And is there any options at that point?
Well, if the bore of the cylinder bore is pitted or something like that from the water, if you put that motor back together, it's going to burn a lot of oil. And it's going to have less compression also most of the time. So the motor's never going to run 100%. Some customers say, oh, put it together and try to run it like that. I don't recommend it. But
Yeah.
I had customers that tell me things like that. Put it together. And I'm like, all right, put it together.
Yeah.
It's not good. It may not live.
And
They're worried. I'll write it on their invoice. And
they got Captain Lance towing them back in to Black Point.
that's another thing they have to go through. A lot of people don't feel like that.
It's crazy. I'll tell you what, I definitely got a much deeper appreciation for this type of teardown. And what is this part called?
That here, that's just a bearing. I got to take, this is a tensor here. There's a bearing underneath here that turns to the, seal. There's a seal right up in here also.
How would you know how to line up the timing on this?
The timing, you see those links, those yellow links, you got to line it up with some points that it has on the sprockets. There's another point which, once I remove this, I'll show you where it's at.
Okay.
And you'll be able to see it. Take the tensor first.
I'm asking questions, guys.
Time chain tensor. Spring loaded, and there's also ratcheting tensor, which it locks up there. The more it stretches, more it locks. It won't retract back. You know, you have to hold it here and then it'll retract back.
Nice.
Which is a good design. See, there's a bearing in here. So always check that, make sure it's not damaged. You'll see all that contaminated oil again.
So I see you got another work section over here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna get my lens just in case your oily hands get on my lens.
Crazy how you tighten something, and then once it runs, it gets even tighter. That's the oil pump. And normally what I do is, you see how it dumps oil?
Yeah.
I just go right here, let it drain, you see? Let it drains out, all that contaminated oil, and then I'll clean it and make sure everything is right.
This reminds me of the Sunk Verado.
What all that milkshake?
Well, listen, you know, Rodolfo, which is, I mean, have you ever met Rodolfo personally or no?
No,
Rodolfo?
I never met him before.
But you saw the stuff that we did on YouTube, right?
I saw the whole thing.
So Rodolfo had never really taken a Mercury Verado apart. He's done a bunch of Yamahas, but that was kind of like his first Mercury Verado, and it was so funny. He goes, "You know how to read English?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Let's go buy the book." And we bought the book, which fell apart, by the way. A Mercury, you got to fix that. So we were going, you know, obviously, you know, you have mechanical know-how, so which he did. And once he started taking everything apart, he started learning. But there were some situations where we were like, okay, well, this is interesting. What happens now? And that's where, you know, he obviously consulted a couple friends and stuff like that. And I'm sure people watching the series were like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I think this is why I'm doing these types of videos, right? Because there's no substitute for your experience, right? Maybe somebody someday might get some information based on this video that they're going to be like, that's badass. I mean, because of this video, I learned something from Danny, or Danny learned something from me. Because I'm sure you learn every day.
You learn every day. If you think you know it all, you don't. You learn every day until it's our time to go.
Well, I hope. I mean, that's definitely the way to go. I mean, I love
technology changes every day. Everything changes every day. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, you're always going to learn something else. There you go. That's just the way it is. Now you see how the slack of the chain is gone because of the...
That's it.
Let me take it out. I'll take it out. It's fine. Alright, so now we're going to take the cam followers and also the tensor over here for the other timing chain. We're going to take that out, and then going to make Make life a lot easier to take the head off. I'm going to take the starboard cylinder head off first because I think that's where the problem's at.
Okay. So what were some of the symptoms that this engine was giving him while he was out on the water?
It was misfiring, running rough. They tried to replace the spark plugs thinking it was a foul spark plug, and he kept running rough and they weren't able to remove one of the spark plugs off. So that's what started everything. Good action. You see the marks that I was telling you? You see right here? That dot is going to line up with that dot over here when you turn it.
Okay, hold on a second.
Very hard to see.
All right, there's a dot there, guys. I don't know if the camera could pick it up on one of the teeth right there. And then where's the other dot?
There's one.
Oh, I see it right here. But that timing is off right there, right?
No, because normally I didn't put it on top dead center. When you put it on top dead center, they're both lined up with one another.
Okay.
The motor's not a top dead center as we speak. We're only taking it apart. Before I put it back together, you have to line up.
Okay.
Which I got to rotate the motor.
All right, so let me give you guys an idea where it looks like, where it's at right now. Here, if you look at where my finger is right there, and here's the dot up here as well. All right, so you guys can see them. See, I don't know if the camera's getting it. I'm looking behind a small screen, guys, but I do want you guys to see it. Look, I had somebody call me the other day and ask me, well, you're one of the people that I asked. He was asking me a couple questions about the Verado, and I told him as much as my pay grade allowed me to remember, but whenever I have a question sometimes, I reach out to you and I'll be like, hey, Danny, I got this situation, what's up? You know? So,
a lot of people call me and ask me certain things. I don't mind, helping them out.
Wait, you gotta put a caveat to that. You got hundreds of thousands of people that are gonna be watching this video, Danny. You sometimes mind. You gotta say, listen, call me before this time. Don't call me after, X amount of time, because trust me.
After 6, most of the time, I'm not gonna answer the call.
Okay, good.
Just letting you know, because
Good.
I have a family just like everybody else.
Good.
I'm removing the outer cylinder head bolts now. Let's go through everything. Almost stop that.
Nice save. So this side is port or starboard right here that we're looking at?
This is a port side.
Port side?
Yeah.
Where's that? It's from that other warehouse, huh? That music? It's wild how it sounds like it's almost in here because of the echo. That's wild.
Echoes quite a bit, believe it or not.
Yeah, it does. It almost seems like it's in here.
I got a good sound system on the boat too. I just installed pretty loud.
All right, so what are we removing here?
This is the other tensor, which I could take it off afterwards. But this is another tensor that tenses this chain here.
Okay. Here it is, right here, a better shot of it.
Another suggestion, when you take these cam followers off, don't get them mixed up.
You can't get them mixed up?
Cannot get them mixed up. Always put them in the same position you took them out. As you see, there's numbers on it. These are exhaust, which will have an E from 1 to 3, and these are going to have an I. And if you're seeing the S, starboard side.
Okay, so the ass would say that it's starboard?
Starboard intake and exhaust starboard side.
Nice. Good tip. I'll tell you, I had no idea it was going to be this much work to get this.
A lot of work.
I had no idea, dude. There's the tensioner.
Yeah. This is super gonna make it easy. They just don't. That's the tensioner here. Has oil that gets you to the little, oh, almost got the camera. Oil comes through here, pushes oil right on the tensioner to keep the tension.
Now, how often do you get like a messed up valve on these?
A messed up valve, it happens, believe it or not. You know, it doesn't happen as much, but it happens here and there. I had them where they drop, you know, valve. Look. I had them where they drop valve, and it just, when that happens, it destroys them because of, a lot of times the spring gets rust on them, the spring pits and it breaks.
Okay.
That spring breaks, the valve gets hung, just loose, and then the piston smacks the valve and it breaks it. And by the time you realize it's too late. It destroys, you know, the cylinder head and everything. Most of the times you can fix it, but it gets more cost effective when that does happen. Now separate everything.
So what if there's a little kid right now that's 13, 14, 15 years old looking at what Danny's doing on these outboards? What would you tell him or her?
Right? If they like it, the most important part of learning something is liking it.
Yeah.
If you like something, you're gonna learn it better.
And it's never going to be a job.
Nope. You know, I have days that you know you're frustrated because things don't go your way, and it happens in any profession.
Yeah.
But the most important part about doing something like this is liking what you do. If you don't like what you do, it's very hard to learn something.
Amen.
So always remember, you gotta like what you do in order to keep going in life. Always find what you like. If you don't like something, it's harder to learn. You see the one bolt that I was telling you about? You gotta remove that bolt, and you gotta remove this piece, which is a guide, in order to get the cylinder heads off.
Okay.
That's another thing that people don't know. You have to go through different parts. Dowels, so a lot of times they.
So you're just working everything slowly. Ooh boy, something came out of there.
That's from the thermostat bypass. You know, they pile up salt sometimes there. See all the salt that piles up in there. People don't clean them.
Yeah, definitely. And here's some of the gunk that came out of there. Wow. And we're
Now I'm going to take the head off just before the bolts out of there. Take it out of the way.
so we might see now what we got. And it'll be painfully obvious the minute. What are you going to be looking for?
What am I going to look for? Either a broken cylinder head or a cylinder head gasket, or something that, you know, that looks either cracked or something like that. A lot of times a cracked cylinder head you won't be able to see with the naked eye, but the machine shop does a process that you'll be able to see it.
Okay.
Let me grab one. Get that.
Wow, this is a lot of work. Oh my goodness, bro. Hey, for every mechanic out there that has to do this and does it good, congrats, dude. Much respect. Wow. Here's where we're at so far. And we still have more parts here. Why do you got to bring out the big guns?
Some bolts can get pretty tight because those bolts you torque them to the spec and then you torque them on another additional 90-degree torque spec, so they get pretty tight. You know, power ones a lot of times won't pick them up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take the bolts before I remove the head off.
Okay.
Always take the bolts out. Then you put your camshaft back in place. Now watch what I'm going to do. You see how I took it out? Come back over here. Take the chain out. And you don't need that because you're going to have to send the machine shop.
Why do you put the cam back?
Because that'll keep it from the flat tappet, you know, cap will fall out. These have shims, different thickness. You get them all mixed up, then you have to go through the whole process of recalibrating everything and adjusting them out. Because there's different tolerance in them. You know, different tolerance to make to cover the gap.
So this is essentially your workflow, right? What we're showing is
My workflow.
your workflow. This is like you do another one exactly like this, you're gonna do the exact same process.
Identical. Everything you see, what it's the process that I do on it every time I do it. You don't have to torque them down or anything, just snug them down, that's it. That's what you're gonna see me do.
That's definitely Now, are you gonna have to remove these again or no? After
when I
the
get them
fact?
back to the machine shop, I gotta take them off again, put the head bolts and torque them down.
So you have a machine shop locally that you work with?
Yeah.
And we don't gotta disclose everything either, but
Yeah, have them
somebody you trust.
This guy does very well for me, and the good thing about it, he gets it done pretty fast for me.
Okay.
Which that's a big help because, like Bruce, we spoke about before, you know, everybody wants to get the stuff back on a reasonable respectable time. This other machine shop does very good work too, but it takes too long.
What would a customer expect to pay, like a machine shop cost to
To do something like this?
Yeah.
Something like this for a customer, that as far as the repair, it varies because
Not that what we're showing right now, but I'm talking about the machine shop, right? That's something like just that expense.
just that expense, it all depends if you need valves. Price will always be different. If you need valves, you also have to buy valves, valve seats, guides if it damaged guides. So you're never going to have a set price. on the cylinder head. Just a resurface. The cheapest you're gonna have is a resurface and a valve job. And that's gonna cost you for each head of these. Cost you about $350 a head.
Okay, so about $700. Okay, all right. That's all I want to do is give a base,
That's a
and
basic.
that has nothing to do with the labor of everything that we're showing now.
No.
Plus putting it back together.
That's not putting, that's just cylinder head labor. Now
Yeah.
it'd be more expensive too.
Based on what we find now when we remove it. So you're gonna bring that head off now?
I'm gonna pull the head off now.
Oh boy. This is that wait for a moment, guys. Another wait for a moment. We gotta see what's. So you're just trying to pry it up a little bit? Oh yeah, you see it already. It doesn't help that I'm in your way, right?
No, it's not the issue. It's just to have dowel pins, alignment dowel pins, and you gotta make sure you get it to break free first, like that. You're not fighting it.
Yeah.
But you can't just pry wherever you want. Oh, he's fighting it.
The balance, huh?
Shit's here in this corner.
Yeah, I see it.
Just trying to put it in between the gasket like that doesn't.
Now the head gasket and all that, obviously we're removing all that.
Remove it and we put a new one.
Yeah.
So we get it back.
Are these head gasket kits pretty expensive?
Not that crazy expensive.
If you need an extra hand, I got one probably available.
Just from this corner, I was kicking my ass. Listen, that never takes me that long.
You want me to pry that open while you pull?
I'm gonna just have it on the lifting frame, on the corner. That's on it. Just a dowel.
The joys. Maybe the YouTube algorithm wanted a little bit more watch time. So maybe the YouTube algorithm wanted a little bit more watch time so they can wait for it. Over here it's opening up. If you pry it here, you might be good.
Yeah. Oh, here. All on this side.
Yeah.
Giving me a hard time here.
It's that one right there. It's that side right there that's the problem. Yeah, there it goes.
And I'm not prying against the block. I'm prying in between. It's a multi-layer gasket. Prying in between the gasket.
Yeah, obviously if you did it to the block, it'd be a problem, right?
Yeah.
I think we found kind of a problem, right? Oh boy, look at this stuff. Wait for it. There it is, there it is, there it is, Daddy. Booyaka! Wow.
So,
Damn.
get this out of the way. There you go, going in the gasket. They overheated it.
Point at it, point at it, point at it.
Point at it with a screwdriver. See right here? See how it's burned out? It's supposed to look like this.
So that right there, that burnt gasket is what ruined.
Ruined, you know, all that water going in the oil.
Wow.
Caused by that.
All that because of that. Let's see what we got over here. So in a way, that's great news, though.
It is.
It's great news because it's the gasket that failed.
The gasket, normally you gotta send it out to the machine shop because when it runs like that, it a lot of times warps the cylinder head. Now you'll be able to see it more visible.
And these are the dowel pins that were giving us a problem,
These are
right?
the dowel pins.
Yeah.
You can see here where the gasket was, you know, burned out. You can see it from this side, more visible.
Yeah. Yep. It's incredible. Just that little bit is what created the failure.
You see the valves, how they got rust on them? Some of those valves, a lot of them won't be able to be reused.
So swap out these valves.
Some of the valves you can use, some of the valves you cannot use. Because he'll clean them, he'll sandblast them and stuff like that before he puts them back in place.
Yeah.
And you know, lap them with lapping compound and recut them and stuff like that. You know.
So this is the side that you thought had a problem.
That's the side I knew it had the problem, because that's the side I was having the running issue, and also the spark plug on this cylinder was not coming off. They infected for so long.
So tell me anything you see about on these pistons.
On the pistons, I'm going to look at them now to make sure there's no scoring on the cylinder walls. And if there's any kind of scoring on the cylinder walls, I gotta let the customer know and let them make the decision from there. You know, a lot of times they're scored. Mm-hmm. My suggestion is replacing the block, or if you have somebody that rebuild it.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Wow, this has been really cool for me to experience, and for them to experience too.
For everybody, you know, they'll see. So you can see the process. It's not a short process. It's a pretty long process.
So now this head will go to the machine shop.
This head will go to the machine shop and get it repaired, resurfaced, and you know, do the valve job and etc. The new valve seals also.
Yeah.
There are seals underneath the springs that needs to be replaced when you do this. You can see also another thing I'm going to show you. Look here. You see that piston that it has carbon buildup on the top?
Yeah.
You see that piston has carbon buildup on top. You
Yeah.
see how it's nice and clear? That's caused by the water. The water will decarbon a motor very good when it heats up. It's like a steamer inside the motor. Mm. You can see here it has water markings on the side of it. And you know, I'm going to spray some Yama shield in there, clean it up, and then inspect it. Because when it's dirty like that, it's harder to see anything.
Cool.
So I'm going to clean it up real fast. Good old power tune.
Yes, we talked about power tune before. Power tune, guys. That saved the dinghy Yamaha.
Power tune.
And when you put WD-40 on the computer on that sunk 50 horsepower, it just drove me. I was like, oh no, I've never seen this. I've never seen this, dude. And that thing fired right up. I couldn't believe it, dude. That was the most shocking day of my life. I was like, damn, there's nothing good gonna happen right now when you did that. And then sure enough, dude, the thing fired right up. Just because it had some moisture still in it after you blew it out, it wouldn't start, and then you went ahead and put that WD-40 in and it started up after you blew it out again. I was in shock. I think you told me something about like the water doesn't let the electricity pass through right or something, or I forgot, but.
You know what, WD-40 displaces water. That's why it's called the water displacement 40.
Yeah.
So, you know, since it had moisture, it displaces the water and it displaces the moisture out of it.
Yeah.
Plus, I use compressed air to help it push everything out. Well, as far as we see, there's no scoring. I gotta clean the cylinder wall, but there's no scoring, which is good.
What would you use to clean the cylinder wall?
I normally would use a soft wire brush to get, you know, the surface rust out of it. And that's pretty much all I would use. And just power tool.
Okay.
And then put a little bit of oil before I put the motor back together in there.
Okay.
But you know, a lot of people try to use a honer. It's not the correct way with the piston in there.
So definitely just putting that power tune already cleaned up a lot of that buildup.
I normally would let it sit with power tool overnight.
Okay. But right now for the
Right now,
video.
I just wanted just to inspect it. But I would let it sit overnight like that. That power tune seats in between the rings, and it cleans out all the rust in between the rings also. So now we're gonna go to this one.
We're gonna tell them to pause again because this is a long video, and they're gonna have to wait for it because I gotta change the battery. And we continue now. The port side
Cylinder
head's gonna come on now. You don't anticipate this side having a problem though, right? Or could it be a problem since it on one side overheated? Would it affect?
I normally, even if this side doesn't have any damage, I send both cylinder heads to the machine shop. Because this big process of taking it apart and putting it back together, last thing you want is put it back together and then this side fails.
Yeah.
I always do both.
Bad trip.
I don't recommend just to do just the one side because it will bite you in the butt sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you spend all this time and labor to do this, just might as well go ahead and get it, do both sides and get it done.
So you'll lose a whole day on this.
On
this, just on this job right here.
This job, I normally could do it faster. I kind of slowed my pace.
Because I'm filming.
For filming, but I normally, half a day you lose on this.
Half a day, okay.
These dowel pins, these alignment pins, make sure you don't lose them. Put them back. Which are these little pieces here.
Yeah.
Always make sure you put them back in the same. Put them back in the same.
So how many of these Suzukis would you say that you've done this job on? How many if you had to guess?
Cylinder head job on these particular one, from the 200 V6 all the way up to the 300s, I've done maybe about a couple dozen, a dozen.
Wow.
A couple dozen.
That's a lot. What would you say you've done the most of?
Yamaha.
Yamaha? Is it because it's more widely available or because it breaks down more?
It's not that it breaks down more, it's just Yamaha certain years had a very poor quality aluminum. I think that's what kind of screwed them up, to be honest with you. As far as the motor goes, a great motor, but the aluminum, Yamaha, step your aluminum up.
What about the newer ones?
They're better. I don't think they're still great.
No?
I hate to tell you that. I hate to say it to any Yamaha person, but Yamaha definitely still needs to upgrade their aluminum. It definitely improved that a lot from what they had before.
What year aluminum was the worst?
Worst from 2002 all the way up to 2006. And it got better in 2007. The two strokes, they had some issues here and there, but not that bad.
Who do you think has the best aluminum?
Mercury.
Mercury has the best?
Best.
By far?
By far, the best.
Why?
It beats Suzuki and Yamaha by a lot.
So what I'm kind of biased with this question. What engine can last underwater the longest?
As far as being underwater, they're all going to live. If you get them out, if you do the process right and if you take care of them, they're all going to live. I had sinkers from Yamaha, Suzuki, Mercury, even Everroom. It all depends how you do it.
Okay, but from what you're saying, and you don't have any skin in this game. You don't care, if it's one or the other. You just work on them all the time. What makes you have that opinion on why Mercury has very good aluminum? What makes you think that?
I have customers that don't flush their engines. I don't care, and they tell me, look, I don't flush my engines. I don't care. You'll fix it when it breaks. And I'm going to tell you, I have Mercury Verados, you know, that have over 1,000 hours. You take parts out of them apart, they're still in real good shape. You take some of these Yamahas and Suzuki parts with 700 hours, and there's quite a bit of corrosion in them.
Okay.
Now, the commercial guys, I have a customer who has a Yamaha 200 4-cylinder. Mm-hmm. And his got about 7,400 hours, which is a lot of hours.
7,400?
Yeah, I got pictures of the computer.
Wow.
When I scanned it with a laptop.
And that's a Yamaha what?
That's a F200 4-cylinder.
Wow.
2017, and that motor has 7,451 to be exact.
Wow.
And his engine has a lot of hours. He don't flush it much because it's constantly getting used. He uses it, you know, that motor runs 10 to 12 hours a day.
Commercial guy?
Commercial guy who does commercial spearfishing in the Florida Keys.
Wow.
And that motor's real clean internally. I think the more you use them, the less corrosion they build up, for what I could see.
Oh no, that's 100%. One of the biggest, worst things you could do for a motor or for a boat is not use it.
Not use it. I have another customer, he has a Verado 275, which everybody talk bad about the Verado 275, and his has about 4,700 hours on that one. And it still runs. Still runs very good. There's no corrosion issues. Obviously, you changed quite a handful of parts on it, but it's still running today. Good. Which, so it's a good thing.
All right, guys. Well, listen, along the process, I know you guys want to see this, but these, I think, these are viable questions that maybe some of you guys can make decisions based on knowing the other side, right? Because I ask people, they ask me, hey, what should I get? Like, you know, some engines are more reliable than others, right? And some are better in certain situations more than others. So I let them decide. I give them the information and let them decide what's best for them.
Let them make the decision. I'm not talking about none of the motors. They all have issues. They all have flaws. There's not a perfect motor out there.
Yet. I mean, if there was, the guy wouldn't be around. Or the girl.
There'll never be. To be honest with you.
Do you ever see yourself fixing an electric motor outboard at one point?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? You don't think we'll see it in our lifetime?
We'll probably see it. There's some out there, but I'm not with the electric engines, to be honest with you. Let me tell you, a trip from here to Bimini, what's going to happen if you run out of battery in the middle of the water? Or from here to any parts in the islands? What's going to happen to you?
You charge up in the floating pod in the middle of the ocean, dude.
No, that's not going to work. That's what people hope is going to happen. What about an airplane? They think they have a battery airplane and charge it in a cloud?
Wait for it.
That's not going to happen.
Hey guys, we're charging right here in cloud number 9. Some people are still on cloud number 9. Yeah, I mean, look, you got to adjust with technology, but I think that if you're completely reliant on one or the other, I mean, look, I think Tesla does a fantastic car, but I can't get in a Tesla and go from here straight shot to
California.
or yeah. So, and then here's the thing, right? And I've almost wanted to do a video on that. I wanted to do a video of where you can charge up your Tesla, and some of these places where you have to charge up your Tesla, I know are not the best areas. Not saying that that's always the case, but they have to have a network everywhere, so just in case you have a situation where you need to charge up. But these charge ups are like, I think minimum 20 minutes or more.
I think they're 20 to 15, depends on which.
And I'm sure it's going to get better, right?
Close to here, there's one that I see people there all the time, and it's right on a restaurant actually.
Yes, right next to it's a Sonny's.
Yeah, Sonny's.
It's a Sonny's right here in Florida City, actually, and we're filming in Florida City. But here's the thing, right? That area is not the greatest, you know, at night.
I grew up down here in Florida City. It has its bad areas. And bad areas.
There's bad areas everywhere in Miami. But I'm just saying, like in the middle of the night, if you got to go ahead and charge up your thing, it's 2 in the morning. You go to this area. I'm from here, and I'm gonna be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, hey, you know, it's a little dark back there. You plug in your car. Trust me, you're gonna kind of be uncomfortable.
For me, it's much easier just to pump gas. A few minutes later, you're out of your way.
Yeah. But hey, listen. I did a video on an electric boat, And I thought it was super badass, and the people in my channel really digged it, you know, and it was 100% electric boat as well.
It's fast. I'm not saying they're not fast. Look, you know, electric motors, they produce their power right away. It's not like a forced induction motor, or even a combustion motor, which is not a naturally aspirated motor, that needs to produce a horsepower.
Yeah.
An electric motor, you give it the full amount of electricity, and it creates its horsepower right away. Not like a combustion motor, it takes longer.
You know, my buddy from Boat Zone, he bought a Tesla Plaid or something like that. Well, this thing was beating 800 horsepower, you know, incredibly souped up Mustangs and Vets and all that stuff. And he was dogging them all over here at Homestead. Dogging them.
Yeah, I seen them.
Dogging them. And nobody could have envisioned that. And I think there's obviously a future in that, but wow.
This is the thing with
I think long term,
they have so much technology that they know a way to make a grip. On a combustion motor, what happens with them, they have so much torque that they'll spin the wheels. It's not that they can't beat them. If you get a 700-800 horsepower, grab them and put the horsepower to the wheels,
yeah,
and not spin them, that electric car don't have a chance. The problem is they create so much torque, and then it just spins the tires. That's why they can't beat them. They get the wheel spin.
We got off topic, but we're almost off here, guys. I know we got off topic, but you know, that's always a nice little question to always talk to people about electric versus, you know, gas going forward, especially. I'll tell you, I'm a fan of it, but I won't get one yet because the mission of knowing that I have to recharge to go somewhere or be somewhere, and then you know, like, think about it. It's like sometimes you're just tired and you don't want to do anything. And the last thing you want to do now is just go home, and now you got to go ahead and park it somewhere where you're going to have to charge it. Until they make it easy. Look, if you give me a wireless charger that I just pull up in my garage and it charges it, then I'm down.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to open it. I mean,
I don't want to touch it.
I don't want to touch it. Yeah, make it happen without me getting, you know, voltage through my body. The easier it is, the better, you know, and the simpler, I think it'll make it more effective. All right, same thing we did on last time. You put them back.
Put them back like that. Nothing gets lost. Nothing gets thrown out of place.
Let's see, guys. We're almost at the end of the road.
That one's probably gonna fight too.
This one's gonna fight us again too, guys.
Those in Alfred. Stubborn.
Yeah, but when you put the head back on, they're a huge relief, right?
Yeah.
Because when you put them back on, you need them.
And when you put the head back on, it's easy because it lines everything right back up in place. Nothing gets shifted, nothing gets, you know, crooked. Everything goes back to where it belongs. I'll put it here. And like that.
Booyah. She's gone. Wow.
This one, it's a little bit easy.
This one wanted to participate. Actually, you know what it was? I knew this one was going to be easy to come off, and I was like, I got to talk about electric. I got to start the chit show in the comment section, guys. Hey, comment below. Electric for the win, or electric to be, I don't know, abandoned somewhere, hating life.
I'm kind of old school, so I'll say
Hey, but when you see the service on probably an electric.
There's none. I have a customer who has a Tesla, and he had it for 4 years already. And the only thing he does is tires and brakes, which is cool. It's just not made for me.
All right, she's off.
We're gonna move it over there. We're gonna inspect it. So, I'm blowing head gasket on that one. You can see, all in one piece. One thing I'm gonna tell you, he doesn't look like he flushes it how he should. not bad, but could be a little bit cleaner than what it is in there. So you can see how it's sealing everything around nice and pretty. That's what you want to see.
So no issues with this side.
No issues that side, which I knew that from taking it apart.
So that gasket was that small, and that was the problem. That's it. Just that. It's going to make it incredible. It's good. It's good to see it visually, right? Like as you opened it, and you're able to witness it. Let's check. Let's check out.
See, all of a sudden, there's got carbon on top, which that's what you normally want to see.
Yeah, you want to see that because there's no water in there, right? Like the other one.
No water in there, and not only that, the water. Normally, when you see the piston real clean, it means water got in there and it cleaned out the carbon right out of it.
How far up do these pistons go? All the way to the lip of the cylinder? How far up?
Right before they go all the way up to the top. It's almost about a less than a 1/16 of an inch before it comes up.
Okay.
You can see it. I'll show you now.
Or you can move it.
I gotta move it either.
All right. There you go. There you go. That's what I want.
You're seeing it's not all the way up. That's all the way up top dead center. You see there's still a little.
Move it again. Move it again. Go.
You see? That's as high as you go. You see now if I keep turning, it goes
Keep on turning. Keep on turning. I want to show that. Yeah. If you can. There you go. There you go. And that just fell in there when he pulled it up. And that's essentially what your engine does, guys. Yeah, because
that piston goes up and down very fast.
Yeah.
Just even at idle.
Yeah. So RPMs, revolutions per minute. There you go. So imagine how fast those things are.
Imagine a motor that revs, like a Formula One that revs, 8, 10, 12,000 RPM, or even a street bike. It's a lot of RPM.
So this one you're still gonna have to take it out. They'll clean up the valves and
do the valve job, do valve seals, etc. Do all the steps correctly.
Power tune again.
I'm gonna power tune both sides, like that power tune soaks in there. And I will normally, when it's clean, the piston will be nice and clean also.
How unavailable are some of these supplies?
As far as power tune, I haven't had no issues. I'm having issues with mercury grease.
With mercury what?
Grease.
Grease?
Yep.
What else? What about impellers and stuff like that?
Impellers, we had an issue with for a while with them. It may go back to normal, normal, or it could go back to back order like it was last year. It all depends how the summer's going to turn out to be. The nice thing about it, most of my customers, my regular customers, they service their engines now like that during the summer. They don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Which that's the
smart way. That's a smart way. Yeah.
Don't wait till summer to maintain your motor.
Yeah, you're done.
Because if you wait till summer, everybody's real busy, and then if you don't have parts, you lost the summer.
Yeah, and it's happening.
I know a lot of people lost the summer.
Yeah, or spring. See, normally if you want something done by spring, you should be calling somebody. December.
Even though we don't winterize boats here in the state of Florida.
We don't.
You should do it early, because when summer comes around, all you got to do is jump in your boat and go.
Yeah. So now from here, these heads go to the machine shop. The machine shop.
They come back. I clean all the surfaces up before I bolt everything on. And then retorque everything back together and put it back together and run it.
So Danny, I think we reached the end of the road for today, right?
For today.
Yeah.
Now, next time, put it back together.
And I guess they're gonna have to wait for it.
Wait for it.
Hey, guys. Well, listen up. Let me go ahead and wait. There we go. Well, listen up, Danny. Incredible video. I hope some of you guys learn the process along the way. If you want to see some other videos that Danny has done with myself, we have the sunk dinghy, which is a cool video. That was a cool video. We also have the sunk 300 glass stream. I had to actually start the process on a Sunday. Obviously not having all the tools that you had, and Monday you came and you helped me, and we fired those up. You gotta watch that thing. It's a cool video. It's a cool story. I think this is more educational for those guys that are going to be doing.
This is more educational than anything.
Yeah.
Because this is not a sinker, it's nothing like that. But a lot of, people will know what's the process of taking a Suzuki apart.
And now you know why certain things cost what they cost.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of work, guys. Hey, Alfred Montaner, K&J, give him your number, quick. So
305-600-7642.
He's busy, guys. Don't expect it tomorrow. Set him an appointment. You'll answer the phone, tell him your availability, and don't call him just to ask him or tell him how much you like him. I love your channel. I love it. You know what? Some of the guys over there. Anthony from Carrera. Anthony, I know you're watching, bro. Anthony's like, I'm a star. They call me at the shop.
I get called all the time, so I'm like, oh boy.
All right, guys, well, listen up. Out of here.
Good. I'll take the call.
You know what the only thing that we're missing? An American flag, bro. Where's the American flag? Oh, there it is. That's where it finishes. I told you guys. Alfred Montaner making a scene. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Boom.